I have two wild animals at home. This is called the Ribosaurus Rex. He has very nice teeth. Look how shiny. You're so big. Oh yeah, look how big. Bear, come here, get in the intro. This is a Bearosaurus Rex. We're gonna do a little ASMR with Bear. Would you ever attack me? Be honest. The wild animals are fighting. Hey, let's look at real animal attacks. We'll talk about how to survive them too.
At 16, Jackson Jordan is hunting deer in his native Georgia woods when he is ambushed and mauled by a pack of vicious coyotes.
Do coyotes attack humans, or are these rabid coyotes? I know every animal has a slightly different proclivity, that's a good word, for attacking humans.
He has gotten off a single shot and scared off a pair of the coyotes.
Oh, wow.
Trying to stand, Jackson is brought down again by another coyote.
They attack in packs, that's all I know. And they're quite vicious. Sadly, my neighbor lost a dog. I think it was a Yorkie, a very small dog. 2 coyotes in the area. So they're around.
That bites into his left leg. On the ground though, Jackson's hand falls onto his rifle.
And flip the safety off and just get an offhand shot. On my left leg, it made 4 puncture wounds.
Puncture wounds are some of the most problematic types of injuries because of the depth in which the bacteria gets trapped. That bacteria has nowhere to go other than spread throughout the tissue, which leads to deeper, more problematic infections that are not easily resolvable, usually requiring IV antibiotics, sometimes incision and drainage due to abscess formation. And if it spreads, it could spread to not just the superficial skin tissue, but deeper into the joints, into the bones even.
They put several shots around the puncture wounds in my right arm.
What it looks like they're demonstrating here is irrigation, and irrigating with normal saline like that, or just saline in general, is the right move to do. If you have iodine, I guess you could do it as well, but just soap water, saline rinse, that's the way to irrigate these types of wounds. And the earlier you do the irrigation, the better infection control you have.
Once that was finished, they put 2 large shots into each hip.
Oh, this is a rabies protocol. What they're doing is basically treating him as a rabies PEP case, post-exposure prophylaxis, where we give several things: the rabies vaccine and human rabies immune globulin, in order to decrease the likelihood that the rabies virus actually inflicts terrible damage to the human, because untreated rabies is fatal. Not somewhat fatal, fatal. 100% fatal.
Pain of the shots is like the stings of scores of angry wasps, but there is no alternative. The threat of rabies is the threat of violent death with unbearable pain, mania, seizures, hydrophobia.
The hydrophobia is so scary to see in areas across the globe where we don't have good medical care, like what he's receiving in this video. They develop late stage effects of rabies, one of which is hydrophobia, where they're literally too scared to drink the water.
The series of injections spares Jackson from contracting rabies.
And because we don't have this type of medical care across the globe, highlighting how important vaccines are, Secretary Kennedy, 60,000 people average globally a year die as a result of rabies.
The rusty old water heater, home to 70,000 Africanized honeybees.
Oh, this is like, I believe, a genetically modified bee. It's basically like a typical honeybee, except that they're just super angry and ready to fight at all times. Think UFC fighting level bees.
The attacks can be started by loud noise and vibrations like, a tractor, say, even up to 100 feet away. Over 2,000 bees attack Lamar's head, targeting the warmth of his breath.
Oh, it's not the warmth, it's the CO2 that is being let out, because bees have a sensor for that. And then also dark colors, so hair oftentimes is a trigger for them, or at least a location for them to attack. So if you're being attacked by these honeybees, cover up your face, not necessarily swat, but just cover your face as much as possible. And run, like, it's not about swatting. Run and cover your face. Try and get into shelter as quickly as possible. And know that they will chase for quite a while.
They'd fly up and nose and I'd blow them out. and then I try to breathe and it fly into my mouth.
Remember, each time one of these bees stings you, it dies and it leaves the stinger in you. So once you get away, you need to get those stingers out, but you don't want to squeeze the stingers out because you could actually spread more of the venom in there. You want to almost use the edge of a credit card or the edge of your nail to sort of pop them out.
This kamikaze colony of apian assassins sank more than 2,000 stingers into his skin.
2,000! So obviously if you get one sting and you don't have an allergy, it's probably not the end of the world. But if you're getting that many or you're getting ones around your eyes or your mouth, for the fear of closing your airway, you need to seek emergency care for sure.
Over 2,000 stingers had left Lamar's head covered in bruises, blisters, and black spots.
Oh my God, that image, that's gonna haunt me tonight. I'm gonna wake up thinking there's bees all over me.
Head, shoulders, neck.
The ear canal, the throat, the neck, the eyes.
When we separated his eyelids, there were bee stingers along the lash line. The stinger has a sac of venom on the end of it. So you take the tip of the tweezers and you get as close to the skin as you can and pull on the stinger, trying not to squeeze any more venom into.
This is under medical care, by the way. Don't do this on your own.
He had muscle damage to the heart, he had muscle damage to the body, and he also had kidney damage.
Remember, when you're getting a massive inflammatory response like this, systemically, because of so many bites, that has repercussions systemically to different organs. And if you get an organ like your heart or kidneys damaged to that degree, you can lose your life.
Dialysis helped flush out the venom. The swelling subsided, and one by one, his ravaged organs started to come back online.
They saved my life up there at the hospital.
I'm glad to know that he survived. That's so scary. If you start seeing them coming after you, run, 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 run. As fast, as far as you can. Run at a marathon pace because you need to outrun these bad boys.
23-year-old Adrian Simancas swallowed and then spit out by a humpback whale.
Why are whales swallowing kayakers and humans?
Hey!
My guy really looked at the whale and said, hey, come here, buddy. Give my friend back.
Tranquilo, agarra el bote, agárralo, tranquilo, agárralo.
He's saying tranquilo, like chill. I say tranquilo when I'm giving a vaccine and someone's nervous. He's saying his tranquilo is on a different tranquilo level.
Suddenly I felt like a wave struck me from behind, but it was very, very heavy to be anything like that.
I mean, what medical information? Plankton rash? Like, what is he gonna get?
At first, I thought that I would die because there's nothing I can do.
Can a whale fully swallow a human? Like, does it have the capacity to swallow all the way? Like, could he have lived in its digestive tract?
You ain't got the answers.
I'm asking you
You
a
ain't been doing the education.
Does this change in any way? You're going to go back out and kayak there?
Yeah.
I mean, lightning doesn't strike twice in the same spot. Is that the saying?
Svalbard is located in the Arctic. The island is not only home to the most breathtaking views on the planet, but also to 3,000 deadly polar bears. Our adventurers knew the dangers, though, and had come prepared. They were carrying rifles and would set up a tripwire system.
Don't they have bear spray, too? I wonder if that works on polar bears.
While the boys slept, the Arctic's most ferocious predator crept towards their tent. Against all the odds, the lumbering beast unwittingly dodged the tripwire.
How does it know? Maybe in a past life, it was not a polar bear.
And this bear was all set for its picnic.
He grabbed my head and dragged me out of the tent.
I can't imagine how much bleeding is happening there. So many small blood vessels in the scalp.
The bear dragged Sebastian 30 meters from the campsite, literally by the scruff of his neck.
Oh, if it's a neck, that's even more dangerous. You're having the most vital of structures in the neck, from the trachea to the carotid arteries, the jugular veins. This is what's bringing circulation to and from the most vital part of your body. I mean, some argue if it's the brain or the heart, but you need both.
As Ludwig grabbed his rifle, the bear reared up onto its hind legs to its full 3 meters.
That's a tall bear. I'm 191. Imagine two Dr. Mikes on top of one another, just going, rah, misinformation.
Thankfully, Ludwig's aim was good. The bear dropped Sebastian, and after 4 more shots, the creature was dead.
Shooting like a World War II rifle at this polar bear.
It could take up to 4 hours for help to arrive. And with the scent of human blood acting as an open invitation to other hungry bears in the neighborhood, it was a race against time.
And the infection risk.
He'd lost a lot of blood, and his body was in shock.
He might have had internal injuries to the head because he had bites in the head.
What do you mean might have? He definitely had.
10-15 centimeters all the way to the skull.
The bear's germ-packed jaws could have left him with a deadly infection.
I love when they shaved, they left a little hair. Like, oh, here's a little tuft. Just let it all go.
We had to remove all tissue that might be infected. And that turned out to be a good deal, actually, because they
probably had to do grafts.
Injuries to the muscles, the injuries to the tendons, they were much larger than we anticipated.
Sebastian emerged from surgery relatively unscathed.
What? These narrators, he's literally scathed. And she goes unscathed.
After capturing one of these monsters, South Florida snake expert Steve Massix become the victim of an attack.
Is this a rattlesnake? Is this a boa?
Right on his nest.
All right.
Got me by the nose, baby.
All right.
I love how calm she is. God, I need to develop that level of chill. His tranquilo is on a different tranquilo level.
Massix slowly works his fingers into the python's throat.
Oh, it's a python. I think I held one of these in Disney or something, or Kissimmee.
If he can block its breathing, he might be able to pry it.
Oh, so he's doing like a rear naked choke, but from the front. Ooh, those do look like super, I don't know if it's venomous, but it's from a bite perspective. Scarring, maybe some help from plastics, but shouldn't be terrible. Again, maybe some salmonella prevention.
You know, my hands were still down in there and the teeth were curved into my fingers. Is there any teeth in my face?
Just hold for a second. I'm gonna try and wipe you off. All right. Okay, relax.
What are they doing?
The cranberry juice.
Cranberry juice? It's not a UTI, buddy.
And I guess being that it's a different flavor and a different taste, it didn't like it, and it was cold too.
I love how she knew exactly. She's like, let me get my little concoction that snakes don't like. Here's a little cocktail juice.
Let's see if I can show you a little bit more about how...
That doesn't look like a snake. That looks like a gator snake. A snake and a gator had a baby.
So now you can see quite a lot of the snake's bulk has gone straight around my neck. Around here is where my windpipe is.
Your windpipe is of least importance to me. Your carotids that are much more easily compressed, that's the concern. Also, the jugular vein that allows blood to drain from your brain and skull are there as well, and they're thinner, so they're even easier to compress. And as a result, you can create a pressure discrepancy where pressure starts building up in the brain because the blood flow needs to circulate in and out.
And that's how this magnificent...
I love how the people filming this don't give two shits.
The amazing thing that happens next is that the boa constrictor will actually start to swallow its prey whole. Oh.
Yo, this guy's so tough.
Yeah, it's amazing how strong it is.
Please tell me he gets it off.
Below the video on YouTube, it says no presenters were harmed in the making of this video.
Oh my God.
It began when Mom Taylor Rogers made an illegal turn onto the school grounds to drop off her son. She's stopped by the Santa Fe, Texas Chief of Police.
There's no left turns, ma'am. They don't even allow walk-ups up front. So
I know, that's what I was doing, sir.
She drives off, but moments later, Chief Espinoza learns that she's driving in reverse at the drop-off area.
What is the animal that is involved in this situation?
Y'all are scaring me!
He takes her down, and that's when she literally comes face to face with the fire ants.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Fire ants don't just bite. They bite, hold on, and sting over and over and oh.
Photos show the extent of the painful bites.
And you don't want to pop those little pustules because then they can get infected. Because technically inside they're I think they're sterile.
It was approximately 13 seconds where I informed the officers, pick her up and put her in a patrol car. So at that time when they tried, she became non-compliant again and they had to restrain her again. She would have been lifted up off the ground much sooner if she would have just complied with instructions.
Was she under the influence driving backwards in a school zone? This was like a criminal scene turned animal attack scene like this.
A man is out of the hospital after a gator chopped down on his head and back.
What? Yo, gators have such strong bites. Like once they bite down, you can't open that.
It shows the man swimming in a lake in Hillsborough County.
Was that the video of it? How did they get this footage? It was a drone. Someone flew a drone and was filming this guy swim and gotten bitten by a gator?
The violent attack lasts only seconds. Defeat says he actually put his hands in the mouth of the gator to get the beast to let go.
The bite crushed his skull.
Wow, to crush a human skull. I wonder how many pounds of force it requires.
And it punctured his brain, so they ended up having to do a craniectomy, remove part of his temporal lobe.
JC spent 8 days in the hospital. He was released last week.
Only 8 days. Think about how amazing our medical system is. His head went inside a gator's mouth, skull was crushed, part of his brain removed, and in 8 days. Oh no.
Started miraculously.
This sport just feels inherently deadly. I wouldn't even say dangerous, deadly.
Then, a half second before victory, absolute horror.
It feels like there's gotta be a better mechanism than dudes running around in bright colored outfits to distract the animal.
Shorty bucks back and slams his horn into Chris's head.
Oh, that's gonna be a concussion, brain bleed potentially.
As for what saved his life, it was a standard piece of bull riding gear, his vest. The inside is made of a high-density yet flexible sports foam.
This is like what knights used to wear in order to protect themselves from getting, not javelin, what's the jousted.
Thanks to his vest, Chris was not even seriously hurt.
Come on. Come on. If he wasn't, I'm so happy, but come on, tough to believe. My friend Pam and I tested all sorts of dog products on Ribbon Bear. Click here to check that out, and as always, stay happy and healthy.